Hi guys and gals, I'm Jacob Baytelman. I'm CTO of CrowdThink and co-founder of it. And today I'm here. Actually, there is something very important which happened this week. Much more important than whatever you can see on the screen, and much more important than the things which keep your eyes attached to your iPhones and computers. As you probably know, Jon Snow is going to become, is it so funny? He's probably going to become the father of dragons, but we will know for sure probably in a year or two when the next season is available. And it means we still have a year or two to stick to our business. So I'm here to tell you today about some aspects of privacy-oriented application development. So if you actually care about privacy, you end up building an application with no privacy settings at all. I would even go as far as to say that the need for privacy settings is privacy failure. But well-architected, private by design systems clarify to your users what data is taken from them, when, and for what purpose. For example, when we press a follow button, we need to store this data somewhere. And we immediately ask a request from the user. Once consent is received, we do that. If it's not, we show a message saying that we can't do it without your consent, and we don't do it. Data minimization. Data minimization is a critical building block. It's part of Article 25 of GDPR, but if you take it to the extreme, it becomes easy to be private by design. Because consent needs are minimal and can be integral to UI UX of the application. So instead of building privacy settings, which nobody effectively comes to and plays with, you incorporate request for consent into the natural flow of the application. Data protection, or call it security needs, are minimal, and the need for transparency becomes easy to communicate to largely non-technical audience. And better than that, risk of a breach to the individuals are minimized too. And let's face it, none of us can keep all the data safe forever. There are no such such things as 100% secure systems, we know that. So the fines should be minimized too. Our application, the Crowd app, is an app for an event. The app for event attendees, first of all, it's one app for any event. You don't need to set up, you just arrive at the venue, open the app, and see who is here and now. Right here, right now. You are engaged with the audience, you follow people, you do whatever you want, but sooner or later you will want to exchange contact details. It's very important, crucially important for any event app to exchange contact details. And normally it works like this. You create your own profile, you grow your network, and if you really work hard and your network is really big, one day you face a nightmare should you decide to copy all the names, phones, and emails from the event app into your address book. So what we did in our Crowd app is this. Firstly, there are no contact details in the Crowd app apart from your email address. And when I want to exchange contact details with you, I press one button and you receive a private message saying that Jacob wants to exchange contact details with you, and you have two options, either agree or no. If you press no, nothing happens, of course. If you press agree, the system sends to the both of us an email message with your and mine email addresses. So that's done. Now let's have a closer look. First of all, for exchanging of contact details, we require users' consent. Once received, we immediately take it out of the Crowd app into your default email application. No matter what you use, Gmail, Apple email, whatever, any application, it's your default queue of important things to do. And sooner or later, you will get to that email message. You'll be able to follow with a couple of words, and then I receive your response. What I have in it is a magic thing. I have your signature, where you typically put your other contact information, like phone numbers, company address, Twitter handle, whatever. And then I reply, and you get my details as well. Now, modern email applications know to do the trick of extracting this data from the signatures and automatically creating a new record in the address book. So the magic happens. One more example. For the need of authentication, we sometimes store in databases such things as phone numbers. Even if the functionality of our application doesn't require that, even if we never plan to text or call the users, we still keep their phone numbers. For example, to ensure nobody subscribes twice. Many developers store these sensitive pieces of information in an open form. The question is why? Why not to convert it into unrecoverable MD5 hashes or any other sort of hashes? So even if the database is compromised, the intruder would see just sequences of characters, meaningless. And the answer is just, that's their way of thinking. Because even if today the functionality of the system doesn't require calls or text to the users, the developer keeps somewhere in the background idea or desire to have access to this information. Sooner or later, probably, they will be able to monetize that. Alternatively, it can be stored in hashes, as we all do for passwords. There are many different ways to do the same things. For example, how do we copy files from one folder to another? We can drag and drop them, we can press Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V, and we can, of course, use the terminal, type in the copy command, and we can even go for very exotic ways, like upload it to the cloud, Dropbox for instance, and then download it to the destination. Sometimes it sounds funny, does it? But that's exactly what we do all the time. That's how we share files with those who sit in the same room with us. That's why at CrowdThink we try hard to reconsider implementation ways. In our application, we group people together in local chats. We provide the functionality of a local chat, but, and that's important, without accessing to location services. There are applications which do access location services, and that's fine. You expect that from such applications like navigation apps. You want to go from point A to point B, you want to see them on the map, you need to know exactly where these places are, so that's quite legitimate. You allow this application to access your location services. But when somebody provides you a localized chat, do these developers, does this application really need the access to location services? Obviously the answer is no, but why do they do that? Because it's the easiest way for them to implement it. They track your location, they define your location. Effectively, they track you, and through this tracking, they deliver some services. We call it services based on location services, on location.
2 minutes.
Alternatively, we implemented a co-location services. We do not define location. I'm not going deeply into detail. I'll just say that we analyze a set of parameters to determine that a group of people is in the same place, and thus we provide them with local chat. Once again, we minimize the data. We concentrated on serving our users instead of exploiting the data. And we implemented our functionality in such a way that it's impossible to track our users. And as a result, we created a social service with deep respect to user privacy. Thanks. Your questions are welcome.